everyone, welcome to my channel. In this episode we're going to be talking about building your own furniture. I built this kitchen pot entirely myself. It was all DIY project, and it measured as a 60 centimeter depth, 79.5 centimeter width, and 75 centimeters height. Okay, and a worktop overhangs a kitchen pot by about 10 mil all around the edges, but not the back, obviously. Okay, so it has this sink and a single gas hob as well. Okay, I went for the single gas hob for a couple of reasons. So I can't see myself doing a lot of cooking inside the van. I have an extra portable gas hob under the seat just in case, so kind of, you know, it's just taking space. So for me it just works very, very well. And it has this tap. Okay, so I'll put this away now. Now all my electrics in here. Here's a switch for my cold water tap. Okay, this is just a spare. Then it's a USB sockets and cigarette lighter socket, my battery monitor, and my diesel heater switch. And this is a fridge, obviously. Now in here I have a bit of a storage here where I store my fresh water, my wastewater, my leg for my table. I'll show you in a minute now. And this is my gas bottle in there, inside there. Okay, it's a 907 bottle, but it will be separate video on a gas install, so you might want to keep an eye on that. Okay, and yeah, I'll show you the table now. Table lives just behind the driver's seat. All you do, you just put the leg on it and hook it on this rail. I went for a low profile rail because I think it just looks a little bit nice. Okay, and this is your table. Okay, by the way, it measures as 67 centimeters and 50 centimeters. Okay, so, and you can slide it along like that. Okay, so for example, if some kids sitting in there on a bed, you can slide it to them like that. And because this is a swivel seat which slides, you can slide towards this table as well, so you can comfortably have your breakfast or whatever. Okay, a bit of a food. So yeah, this is it. If you want to see how it's done, stay tuned. Cheers. I went for this Moreland 15 mil lightweight furniture board. It's a great way to build your furniture, but board is expensive. At the time it was about 155 euro. Just a little bit nervous making the first cut of this expensive board, and but it had to be done, and it turned out okay actually at the end. It's essential what you're gonna get yourself few quality tools like a track saw. I went for this McAllister track saw for a few reasons. It takes an exactly same blade size as my Makita circular saw, and you can get a Makita track, extra long Makita track, which works well with this saw as well. And it's only an entry-level saw, but it worked great for me anyway. The other tools you would need when you're tackling a project like that would be wood router and jigsaw, and obviously a drill. And I went for the pocket hole jig as well, because I built my kitchen pot entirely with pocket hole screws and wood glue. And it's actually quite solid. It turned out to be rock solid. A track saw cost me about 170 euro. A pocket hole jig cost me about 35 euro, plus I had to buy a clamp separately, which was another in around 15 euro. And plus I had to buy a 25 mil screws separately as well. It was a about 20 € extra as well. So it's all adapts, but you know, at the end you get to keep the tools, and then you can make your own furniture, you can make your own bits and pieces. And then in regards of wood rod, I had it, a jigsaw I had it, drill I had it, so I do have quite a extensive collection of tools. So, and I like topping it up as well, so no regrets there. And here just wanted to show you with this truck saw you can get a very clean cut. I didn't want to use T-trim everywhere. I just wanted to use this matte, black matte edging where will be no moving parts, and it just gives you a very clean and sharp edges. Grain runs down like that. So ideally door will be in here as well, but I don't. You can buy a special tool for trimming the edges, but I didn't have it, and the sharp chisel just works very well actually. After a few cuts, my front of my kitchen pot starting to take shape. In here I needed to cut out a few planks of an exactly same length. So I just came up with this idea, screwing some plywood to one end and then rest the planks against it and then running my truck saw on the other end. And it's actually worked very well. So we all were an exactly same length. And then here I'm just testing out my pocket hole jig and testing out different lengths of screws. So I've used a 30mm screw, which was a little bit too long, and then 25mm screw, which was just perfect. So I ended up using 25mm screws all over throughout. If I use 25mm screw, it stops here. So it's just perfect. So we go for 25mm. Okay. And then here I'm just giving it a rock test, and it's pretty solid, and I'm just happy how solid it is, and just combination between pocket hole screws and the wood glue, as I said, worked very well for me. This is my middle section of my kitchen pod. I wanted to do a large cutout in here for a couple of reasons. First reason would be the less plywood, the lighter the kitchen pod, and then I wanted to have enough room to pass all the wires and all the services and stuff. And then a third reason, and a very important reason too, I wanted my fridge to kind of to be able to breathe in there. So it just worked very well for me as well. And now it's time to start assembling everything together, and it's really starting to take shape now. It's really starting to look like a kitchen pod at this stage. And now it's time to cut out my worktop. This board, it's even more expensive than just a lightweight plate, but it's very durable, and I kind of don't regret buying it because it's really worth its money. But it's still, of course, it is an expensive board, and I think it's too expensive. But hey, it is what it is anyway. When I was making a cutout for the sink and the hob, I've used this template which I bought off the UK website. I'll leave a link for you. And it just saves you a lot of time as well, a lot of frustration. You don't have to do all this crazy measurements and just measure millimeters and all this and that. You just put it over your worktop, and then just off we go. You just use a pencil, or in my case I've used a pick tool, and yeah, it just saves you a lot of time. And you can, depending on your model of your sink and hob, you can pick out different models, different versions of this template. For recessed parts in your sink, you have to use your router just to route out space where it's gonna go in. I set the depth to about 6 mil, which was a little bit too deep. I'd say if you're gonna go for between 4 and 5 millimeters, it would be just perfect. But still, 6 mil worked very well for me anyway. So, but as I said, it was a little bit too deep. I could have went for about 4 or 5 mil. To smooth out the corners, I've used €1 coin, which actually worked very well for me. And I've used this sharp pick tool just to scratch, just to make the marks where I want my corners to be smoothed out. And then I just simply used a jigsaw and a little bit of sandpaper and the block. I think it was 120 grit sandpaper, and I've just filed it off. And now we're coming up to making a groove for this T-trim. You have to use a special bit for it. It's a 2mm bit, and you have to use your wood router as well. And it's basically just makes a groove, and then your T-trim, like a middle section of a T-trim, just simply goes in, and it has like a little teeth, and it just holds to your panel, and this way your T-trim is held in place. This T-trim has a little lip on top of it, which is supposed to go over your furniture, over your worktop, and I didn't want it to have like a very high up, so I offset the groove a little bit, so my T-trim will be sitting a little bit lower, and this way this lip would go just past the worktop, so it wouldn't be very much noticeable at all. I've used the very same €1 coin to smooth out the edges on my cabinet door, and then the same technique for T-trim. Like I offset the groove a little bit, and then just basically use the same technique as I've used on my worktop. When it comes to hinges, you can use three different types of hinges. You can use butt hinges, sprung hinges, or concealed hinges. With the butt hinges, you don't get as much adjustment and they stick out, and I don't think they look as good. Sprung hinges, again, you don't have a soft close option, and you don't have much adjustment in them as well. But when it comes to the concealed hinges, you have a soft close version, and you have plenty of adjustment. So I went for the concealed hinges. Usually when you buy concealed hinges, they come at the 13mm depth, which is a little bit too much considering you only have 15mm board. But you can buy shallow concealed hinges, which are only 11mm, so they worked just perfectly. But the only thing is, again, I bought this very inexpensive jig just to cut out the holes for the concealed hinges, and again, it worked out for me very well. But I had to kind of try it out first on a scrap piece of timber. In here I'm just fitting a T-trim. Scissors probably not the best tool to be cutting it with, but it's an upholstery heavy duty scissors, and they're very sharp, so they actually work quite well for me as well. When you fit in this T-trim, it can be easily marked, so try to rest your panel on something soft, like I have a piece of foam in here, and then when it comes to the corners, just use your electrical snips and make kind of a V-notch, and then your T-trim will go around quite easily around that corner. And always try to have a little bit of tension on the T-trim as well. And in here I'm just using my hole saw to make vents for my fridge, and I'll be able to pass all the wiring through these vents as well. When it comes to the backboard, I've used 6mm plywood. It just happened to be a headed lying around, and I sprayed it black, so it would look a little bit nicer. And once you screw it on, it really gives your kitchen pot rigidity, so it's very stable now at this stage. And now at this stage our kitchen pot is pretty much done. We just need to fit it into our van and fit a worktop as well. When it comes to fitting your kitchen pot, you have to make sure it's properly fixed in case of you're gonna have an accident. Touch wood, you're never gonna have an accident, but in case you will have it, so your kitchen pot wouldn't end up on top of your head. So I've used plenty of screws. I did screw it down to the floor using the screws, and I was able to screw it down to the back wall as well, because my back wall is 6mm on a kitchen pot, and the back wall of carpeted panel of a van is 6mm as well. And now I'm just fitting a worktop. My missus is holding it down, and I'm just using my pocket hole screws and screwing it to my kitchen pot now. And when it comes to fitting your sink and hob, you just screw it down using the screws provided, and I think it's about 5 or 6 screws in total, and where you just holding your sink and hob in place. Screws have a kind of like a washers which holding your sink down, and then it's kind of a rubber mounts covering the heads of your screws, and your glass sits on them rubber mounts. And then here I just made a cover for my diesel heater ducting, and as you can see I used my hole saw and made a few holes just to vent it a little bit, just to get rid of the heat, because this ducting gets pretty hot. Just a bit unlucky with this screw. It went a little bit too high, but I had to take it out and then screw it a little bit down. Up front, I recommend using these things. They should pop up on your screen now, and it's kind of an L-shaped bracket, and just simply for holding your kitchen pot down. And screw it to a side of a kitchen pot and to your floor as well. And this is it. Our kitchen pod is fully built and installed. Now guys, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. If you found it helpful, please give me a like. If you have any questions, drop me a comment, share it on social media, and as I said before, it will be a separate video on a gas install, and it will be a separate video on the electrics as well, so you might want to keep an eye on that. And for now, take care, and I'll catch you at the next one. Cheers.